All right, everybody. Good afternoon. Hope you guys are doing well today. Just wrapped up my show with the Hawks Nest talking about the offensive linemen in this upcoming draft. And literally within like 10 minutes of us starting our show, we got some breaking news. Obviously, I wasn't able to cut a video about it at the time because I was doing a show. Show ended up going a little over 2 hours. So I decided to go ahead and sit on it because it's not like this is earth-shattering news. It's not like this is the biggest thing in the world, but I definitely want to make a video about this. So we're going to go ahead and just hop in with at this point, I don't know if you can really call it breaking news because it's almost 3 hours old, but it is certainly news nevertheless. And we'll bump the right tackle video to a little later tonight. But yeah, the Seahawks have signed a quarterback, and it's a quarterback that we've had before. The Seattle Seahawks have signed Drew Lock to a contract, so we now have a new backup quarterback. Um, you may remember Lock from the Russell Wilson trade a few years ago. He did play a little bit with the Seahawks in 2023. He had good moments and he also had some bad moments, which is what Drew Lock is. He is a inconsistent quarterback. He's got a great arm. There are some good things about him, but there are also some pretty lackluster things about him. And overall, he is up and down. Played with the Giants last year, actually played a pretty significant amount of football for them. Nothing particularly stand out, but he was out there and he was in a situation where I don't know if very many people in the world could succeed, even the best quarterbacks. So Drew Lock is now a Seahawk again. Now, we do have contract details, and it's actually really good. Brady Henderson had this tweet here where he lays out the 2-year deal worth $5 million. It looks like total, which is actually a really good deal. 2 years, $5 million. We don't know exactly how it breaks out, but it doesn't really matter that much. You're probably looking at like a slightly less than $2 million cap hit this year, and looking at a little more than $3 million the next year. And it's probably very easy to get out from underneath that deal after 1 year. That's actually really good. Remember, when we signed Drew Lock to be a pure backup to Geno in 2023, it was like $4 million. And the Giants gave him more than that, I believe, last year to be their backup quarterback to Daniel Jones. So getting Drew Lock, who still brings these positive traits to the table, even though he's not really a good quarterback, for 2 years, $5 million is actually, I mean, hey, that's great. I got nothing bad to say about that. That's not radically more than what Sam Howell makes this year against the cap. And of course, now we got to talk about the Sam Howell part. So Sam Howell, fully non-guaranteed contract, very good chance that he's out of here now. We lose zero money by letting him go. There's no guarantees there. I think we save like 1.1 million. So the upgrade, and I do think it is an upgrade from Sam Howell to Drew Lock, is only going to cost this team like maybe $1 million, probably not even $1 million in 2025 in terms of cap space. So I think that this is good. Drew Lock is capable of being a quarterback. He's not a good quarterback, but he is capable of doing quarterback-like things in a way that Sam Howell didn't show he was last year. Now, I don't know if Sam Howell's going to get cut or if he's going to get traded for like some really, really piddling trade package, maybe like swapping a future seventh and Howell for a future sixth or something like that. There might be a little bit of a market out there for him. He did play decently well for the Commanders a couple years ago. There might be some interest. So maybe that's what happens. It doesn't make that big of a difference either way. At this point, obviously, I think you take just about anything for Sam Howell, like any asset at all, even a tiny little bump up on the trade chart for draft picks is probably good because he's just quite simply not a particularly good player. We saw it last year in training camp. The reports coming out of training camp from pretty much everybody was that he didn't look good. Sam Howell did not look good in camp. He did not look like he was ready to go. He did not look like he had what it took to become a viable NFL quarterback. He looked like he regressed from the Washington year. And then we saw him a little bit against the Packers, and he was abominable. He was it was one of the worst QB performances of all time. Statistically, there were actually some studies done. What he did in that Packers game was one of the worst performances in NFL history, at least over the last, I think, like 25 years for any quarterback. And I don't want to judge him based off of that. I know he's better than that, but there was stuff leading up to that that made you think, man, this guy just doesn't have it. Drew Lock has it more than that. Drew Lock has a big arm. Drew Lock has, I think, a little bit more mobility than Howell. And we've seen him have a little bit of success here before, right? He did have a couple of good moments in Seattle in 2023. I think there were also an equal number of bad moments, but whatever. That's why you're a backup. If you were consistently good, you wouldn't be a backup. You'd be a starter, and you'd be making way more money. So we'll see what happens with Sam Howell. I don't think he'll be on the team this season. I believe that if a football team is going to carry 3 quarterbacks, one of those quarterbacks should be a rookie. So I think carrying Drew Lock and Sam Howell when you have Sam Darnold is weird. I don't think that'd be a good idea. So let's save a little bit of money here. We're going to spend slightly more, but we're going to get an upgrade at the backup quarterback. I like that. This deal could have easily been like 1 year, $7 million, and I wouldn't have been shocked. So the fact that it's 2 years, $5 million is great. All right, so that's what's going on here. Let me know what you guys think about it. Do you like the signing? Do you like Drew Lock? Do you think that Drew Lock maybe has a little bit of a future here? Do you think he has a chance to survive the 2 years on the contract? For me personally, I'm not going to act like this is a particularly impactful thing, but I do think that in the grand scheme, it is a good move to pay slightly more for a better backup quarterback when we don't have all the faith in the world in our starting quarterback, and I don't think that we should. I think that there is real concern with Sam Darnold being a little bit of a one-year wonder in Minnesota. I think there is a realistic possibility he doesn't do well here. This is not, if we had a quarterback like a Josh Allen or a Joe Burrow, then it doesn't really matter as much because that's your guy. Like, even if things don't go well, you're not going to waver in your belief that that quarterback is very good. That's not what we have right now. We have a quarterback who could go one way or the other, and maybe the team wants to give themselves at least a chance at a shot in the arm later in the season. And this also pretty much closes the door on drafting a quarterback in my eye. I don't know why you would sign Drew Lock and then draft a quarterback, especially Drew Lock to a multi-year contract. I know it could be easy to get out of after 1 year, but still, I think quarterback is kind of off the table for the upcoming draft, which I am totally on board with because I think these quarterbacks kind of reek, and I think the quarterbacks next year will be way better. All right, so let me know what you guys think down below. Again, it's interesting. I'm not going to act like it's a big deal, but I do think it's a good move. We've gotten better at a position without spending an excessive amount of extra money, and I think we've helped clear the deck a little bit for the upcoming draft to not overextend ourselves to take an overrated quarterback prospect. All right, another video coming in a couple hours, and then we're going to be finishing up right tackle tomorrow, and then we've just got a couple positions left, and we'll be ready to go by draft day, no problem. Go Hawks.